أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. By the moment after sunrise, by the night when it darkens and stands still, your Lord has neither forsaken you nor hates you. And indeed, the hereafter is better for you than the present, the life of this world. And verily your Lord will give you all good, so that you shall be well pleased. Did he not find you as an orphan and gave you refuge? And he found you unaware and guided you. And he found you poor and made you rich, self-sufficient with self-contentment. Therefore treat not the orphan with oppression, and repulse not the beggar, and proclaim the grace of your Lord. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alam nashrah laka sadrak, wa wada'na anka wizrak, alladhi anqadha dhahrak, wa rafa'na laka dhikrak. فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. Have we not opened your breast for you, O Muhammad, and removed from you your burdens, which weighed down on your back, and have we not raised high your fame, your reputation? Verily, along with every hardship is relief. Verily, along with every hardship is relief. So when you have finished, devote yourself for Allah's worship, and to your Lord alone turn your intentions and your hopes.
I'm so tempted to say we are gathered here.
You want you to say a thing?
I know, right? For a rap, you got one, mashallah. Let me introduce everybody to the participants here. To my immediate left is Sadiyah Bashir. I've known her for a minute. And I can appreciate the nervousness that you see on her face. To my right is Eric Powell. I've known him for half a minute. So I really can't gauge his nervousness, but I can see it. Look at his nose. The reason why I start with that, in all sincerity, is that when Muslims are asked, ordered, required, requested, encouraged by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to marry, it's not something that we take lightly. It's something that we take tremendously seriously. We know that there are rituals. You may have known that we pray. We know that there are rituals. We know that we fast. But when it comes to marriage, what you're doing is you are putting yourself out there on the line to say that I intend to do this in the same light that I intended to pray. I intend to do this in the same light that I intended to fast. Because my goal isn't for Sadiyah, her goal isn't to please Eric. Eric's goal isn't to please Sadiyah. Their goal mutually is to be pleasing to Allah. So that Allah, their creator, will bless whatever union they decide to come together on. And the only way for that to happen is for them to do right, to do good. The Muslims have an expression of saying that you have every person will get what they intend. And the only time you get a good deed is when you intend a good deed. So if you have a good deed and a good intention, inshallah, meaning that good deed is a deed that you do to please Allah, then Allah will bless it. If you have a good deed and you have a bad intention, you're not doing it for the pleasure of Allah. If you have a bad deed and a bad intention, you can't argue that you're trying to please Allah. And if you have a bad deed and a good intention, you can't get the blessing from that. So here we are sitting here with Eric with a good intention. His intention is to please Allah. I don't want anyone to walk away from this believing that Eric fell in love, he got madly in love, and he just had to get married. Eric fell madly in love the first time he hit his head on the Masala. The first time that he bowed down and said, Allah is my Lord, he was in love at that moment. He had known Sadiyah then. The first time that she said, what was that rap she said when she was 2?
A slave to Allah.
A slave to Allah I be, at 2 years old on the floor. We knew where her intentions were. The only question was, where would we find someone to match her intentions? So even though she might think he's handsome, even though he might think she's beautiful, it comes down to one thing. When Allah touches your heart and brings you together, he makes that promise to you. Allah says, he says that marry the believing women. He says that men are the protectors and maintainers of women. And Eric, I'm speaking to you first and foremost. When Allah says he's the protector, that you are the protector and maintainer of women, he says something else. And we're going to clear it up here so that everybody knows what your role is. See, you have a role. In Islam, everybody has a role. When we went upstairs and we prayed, everybody got in rows because they knew what their role was. And then the person who would lead the salah stood in front so everybody would know what his role was. And you have a role. You are going to be now, you're going to move from Eric the cool, Eric the rapper, Eric the president of MSA, Eric the student activist, to Eric the husband. Now look, I have no problem with passing off my daughter to you. But when she came to me, she said, this guy wants to speak to you about me. I was expecting somebody 6'5". I was expecting somebody 6'5", maybe 240 football player, right? But why was I expecting that? Because I know Sadiyah. Sadiyah is a giant. Sadiyah is not to be played with. Sadiyah is what you all on the street would call a beast. She brings her Islam everywhere she goes. She moves me to be better. So if you come into me talking about I want to talk to her, I'm waiting for Musa. I mean, for those of you who don't know, Musa is Moses. I'm waiting for somebody of that stature. And lo and behold, guess what? I found somebody of that stature.
There you go.
And here's how it plays out. You all, those of you who know the story of Musa, you know that Moses, he was lost in the desert. And he was wandering with his family. He was on his way back and he saw a bush. And when he saw that bush burning, he said to his family, let me go over to this bush and maybe I can get some firewood or maybe I can get some directions to where we're going. Maybe I can get some directions. But that came about because Moses had been chased out of Egypt. When he was chased out of Egypt, he runs across this well with a group of women. And this group of women were holding back their sheep because they were afraid of the men who were already at the well. So they tried to keep their sheep back. And Moses saw this and he thought this was unjust. So then therefore, when I'm looking for Moses, I'm looking for somebody who's looking to protect my daughter against injustice. So Moses stepped to these gentlemen, ushered them out the way, and brought the women's sheep there. He stood for right because it was the right thing to do. So when I see you, and believe me, I've watched you, I expect you to stand for right because Allah says men are the protectors and maintainers of women. So I need to know when I give my daughter to you that you can protect and maintain her like Moses protected those ladies at that well. So I watched to see if maybe you started getting taller for some reason. But that story goes on. As he does that, he sits down. The ladies feed their sheep, water their sheep, and they leave. Well, you know the story. And they go back to their father and they say, he says, what are you doing back so early? You always come back late, because he knows they're at the well with these men and they're trying to stay away from the men, because the men are rude and crude and they're women and they ain't got no help. They said there was a man who stepped in on our behalf. And the father says what? See, being a father, before I was a father, I never appreciated this story. But now I'm a father. The father says, go get that man. Bring him here. I want to meet him. So every time I see you, and you say to me, I say to you, Eric, now look, if you want to talk to my daughter, there are rules. Allah has set the rules. It's not me. I would love to see you hold her hand. You know, I'm liberal like that. But Allah said, Allah says no. And I said to you, if you trust in Allah, then you follow the rules. And I watched, believe me, I watched, to see if you would follow the rules. You follow the rules. So when the father calls for Moses, he says to Moses, now Moses is sitting under a tree in the shade, and he makes a prayer. Basically he says, whatever you have for me, Allah, I have nothing. Whatever you have for me, I'm willing to accept it. And at that moment, the girl comes back. Those of you know the story. The girl comes back and says, my father wants to meet you. Now Moses was a prince. Rich, filthy rich in Egypt. Now he's in the desert and he's a pauper. He has nothing but his character. So now when I'm looking for someone like Moses, I have to look for a person with character. And I found that you have character. When he gets to meet the dad says, thank you for what you did for my daughter. Thank you for respecting my daughter. So allow me right now. So for the last 4 years, I watched you in places that you didn't even know I was. Thank you for respecting my daughter. Because she wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have you here for one moment if you had disrespected my daughter on any small level. Any small level. Because she's a giant. She deserves the best. When he gets there and he says, hey, Moses, you have nothing. Now remember, Moses had just made this prayer. Allah, whatever you have for me, I'm willing to accept. And he says, how about you work for me? Because again, this gentleman has no sons to water his sheep. All he has is daughters. And the daughters keep getting taken advantage of by the roughnecks that's out there at the well. I'll give you a job. You can take 8, you can add another 2 on if you like. And guess what happens? Moses accepts the job. This prince of Egypt accepts the job as a shepherd. Meaning that he had put his pride aside. He could have said, look, I'm a prince. I don't tend sheep. He put his pride aside. So I'm looking to see whether or not you are so proud in the things that you do that you would be like, well, look, wait a minute. You tell me I can't hold her hand. When you say, I'm going to hold her hand anyway, that's pride. So I'm watching closely. I got Dean watching on my left, and I got Don watching. And you follow the rules, which means you put whatever pride you had to the side for just to be respectful to her and respectful to me. Just like Moses was respectful to that dad. So he took the job as a shepherd now, this prince of Egypt. When he finished, the guy says to him, you don't even have a place to live. You don't even have a wife. Yeah. Marry one of my daughters. See, that's the way fathers think. If you got somebody who's decent, nowadays, if you got somebody who's decent, here, come, I got huh? That's the way we think when we're fathers. Because we can't wait around for Joe Thug to show up on the door and be like, yo, Dad, yo, I'm here to holler at your daughter. We can't wait for that. So I say all that to say, men are protectors and maintainers of women. So when I turn my daughter over to you, I have seen that you protect her. You protect her honor, you protect her chastity, you protect her body, you protect her mind. Maintain, though, is another thing. How does a man maintain a woman? See, we all think that because the law says that they have to spend their money on them. You have to spend your wealth on her. She doesn't have to spend her wealth on you. Isn't that interesting? But you have to spend yours on her. You have to. That's how you will maintain her. But that's the physical maintain. What about the tears that she sheds? How do you maintain that? What about the struggles that she goes through interpersonally? How do you maintain that? So I'm watching, again, to see if you have the temperament to be able to say that there are other ways to maintain a woman, especially a Muslim woman, because I always told you, she's a giant. She's bad. She brings it. She brings Islam. She wears it on her sleeve. So in order for you to maintain her, you better bring Islam on your sleeve. Else you won't be able to compete. Her fire will burn you out. So I want to see if you can compete. Because that's the way you're going to maintain her. Because you see, she's cut like her mother. She don't need you. Just like her mother. She accepts you. But the law tells us she gets to choose her husband. See, I don't get to throw and say, look, I want you to marry this kid, Eric. She says, I don't like him. I say, okay, mom, sure. Allah gave her that right. Allah raised her to the statue where he gives the woman the right to choose who the husband she's going to have. And she chose you. And I'll bet you if you ask her, it'll be because of all the things that we just outlined. So when I ask you, can you protect my daughter? I expect you to say, Inshallah, I'll do everything I can to protect her. And when I'll say, well, can you maintain my daughter? See, because I don't care how rich you are. I just want to know that when it's time to pray, you're going to be there to lead. When it's time to fast, you're going to be there to encourage. When she's breaking down, you're going to be there to pick her up. I want to know if that's going to maintain her. And I see that in you. And so I thank Allah for you being here. On the other side of this table, there's Sadiyah. And Allah tells her that she has certain things that she has to do. And Allah tells us, you ready for this? Women are devoutly obedient to their husbands.
Ameen.
Women are devoutly obedient and guard in their husband's absence what Allah requires them to guard, meaning their honor, the honor of their husband, the honor of their household. And here's what I know. When you said, I want you to meet this guy, I think I might have said, yeah, I sure hope you got a lot of heart. He got to deal with you, Lord. You did. That's what I said. Not because it was a negative, but because I felt your fire. I know your strength. But, see, there's a certain level of everything that when you begin to talk about, I'm going to marry this man, that you begin to understand the balance that you're striking. It's kind of like I'm cooking my pot because I'm eating for myself. You all know how to do it, right? You turn the flame up real high. You figure in 2 minutes it'll cook and it'll be done. It's like you burnt on one edge and burnt on another edge, but it's yours. It's all, I'm the only one eating it. So what do I care? I scrape off a little bit of the black and then. But when you compromise, when you decide you're going to join with someone, now you have to begin to turn your own flame down. Not that you're giving away anything, just that you're turning your flame down so that you and he can come to some level of compromise as to what it is. Because you have a role as well. Your role in being obedient don't mean that he gets to beat you up. He gets to tell you what to do. He gets to yell in your face. He gets to domestic violence 101, because we all know how you feel about we already know you are captain of the misogyny. So he doesn't have that right moment. But in order for you and he to be on the level that you are on and the level you want to be on, you have to know when to turn it up and when to turn it down. That's what Allah is referring to when he says you're obedient. See, sometimes he'll be wrong with two left shoes. And you'll be like, this guy, he don't listen, he just don't listen, and da-da-da-da, but he's got a right to be wrong. Because as long as you know that his intention is to please Allah, how are you challenging that? How you challenge the wrongness of it? Allah wrote that he would be wrong. But Allah also put a blessing in it for you because you listened to it, you gave your opinion, he made a decision, you made a decision together, and you said, I'm going along with your decision. And he said, this is the way we're going to do it. And then you say, alhamdulillah. All of a sudden your stature goes through the roof. Because there'll be that time when in the middle of the night you'll say, I told you. But that's the nature of being able to find that meaning, that way to carry your load in this. I know you can do it. I know I see the strength in you. I see it every day. I told you inspired me to be better. And frankly, I love the idea of the respect that you showed him and his family. Because one of the things that a wife will do is he'll be entering into his family. And so therefore you will therefore now pick up an obligation that you didn't have yesterday to his mother. You'll pick up an obligation because you see, you can't function in his family and be adverse to his mother. It can't happen. You come home, and you yelling at his mother, and he's looking at you and looking at her trying to make a decision. No, that can't happen. So you have to learn, and you have to know that his mother is entitled to respect from you that he is willing to give her. And his father is entitled to respect that he's willing to give him. And so therefore, in order for you to make this work, you have to understand that they are your family now. You are embracing that because this is what Allah does when he connects families. He doesn't take anything away from you. He brings all of you together and makes you better. So, I took a look at your contract. And there's a couple of things I have to ask you. First thing is you. Did you read it? Are you satisfied with it? You know that part of the Islam is that the groom has to give you a dowry. Did you guys agree on the dowry? Is it acceptable to you? Do you want to marry this guy? If you really want to marry him, ask him to marry you. Propose to him. I gotta move now. Did anybody else hear that? No! I heard it. One more time.
Allah heard it.
Right. But he needs to hear it too. And I need to hear it because I'm here. Alhamdulillah. Eric, you read the contract?
Yes, sir.
You satisfied with it?
Yes, sir.
You know, understand, let me so both of you understand. Basically the contract says, in a rough term, I'm just paraphrasing, that the marriage is being performed according to the Sunnah of Rasulullah, according to the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah, you both agree with that?
Yes.
That the marriage will be maintained according to the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah, correct? And that any disputes, any children, well, let's do with children. Any children, should there be some, inshallah, soon, grandkids will be raised according to the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah. True? All right, and you both agree on that, right? And Eric, you haven't read it, You understand that this is a contract, and in Islam, a contract is a binding agreement. Not only are you binding yourself to the paper, you're binding that you're making the statement in for the pleasure of Allah, in the presence of Allah, because Allah is aware of all things, and in front of all these witnesses who may or can or may be called to testify for, with, or against you on the day of judgment if you don't keep your word. True? You understand? And you understand that with this particular contract, there was a requirement of a dowry, correct? And you and Sadiyah agreed upon a dowry without having to mention it, but you all agreed and you're satisfied. You're satisfied that she's satisfied with the dowry. And you're satisfied that you want to marry her. And nobody's forcing you to do this? No. Nobody's threatening you to do this? You're doing this solely for the pleasure of Allah, the Most High. All right. Now, I understand that, again, Allah touches our hearts. He brings love to us. So if I just say solely for the pleasure of Allah, everybody here is thinking that, oh, he in love. Right? But again, so that you all get a clear understanding, we believe in love for the pleasure of Allah. We love to please Allah. We love so that we can please Allah. Allah touches our hearts with love. And then therefore, when we act on that love that Allah blessed us with, it becomes an act of worship. What you're witnessing here is an act of worship. So then, Eric, if you really want to marry my daughter, ask her to marry.
Sadiyah, will you marry me?
You know, there's one other thing that you have to do. See, she has a mahram who could really just step right in here right now and say, no, it's not going to happen. You know, he has that right. He could stop it. So you have to ask him, is it okay if I marry your sister?
Everybody, may I marry your sister?
For all of you who heard the first group of words that I said, that it took 5 things. You just saw a groom. You just saw a bride. You are witnessing a contract. You heard, what was the 4th one? You heard a proposal. And you heard from the mahram. The only thing that's left is what? In order for the contract to be valid, we need witnesses. I need 1 female for her, and I need 2 males. You have some people who understand that. All right, let me start with the female. With the sister. Here you go, sis. Look, that was. Do I have some male witnesses? I have 2. Where's Muhammad at? It's almost scary this time. Go ahead. Where's Jamal? Come on, bro, don't hide. You a Howard guy. You're supposed to rush to the front. It's what we do. We own places. First, I need a signature from the bride.
Wow, that was quick.
I need a signature from the groom. You tell me. Now I need a signature from the rock here. First of all, let me say 2 things. Where's Aaliyah? May Allah bless you for opening up your home to all these nice people. May Allah bless the house with nothing but blessings, nothing but barakah, with shine and light on you and your family, and keep you all on the straight path, and keep you around people who worship and people who believe. And we also say something to Eric's mom and dad. You guys should be tremendously proud of this guy. He's a light. He's strong. He stands for what he stands for.
It's my grandson.
And to me, that's powerful. Let me say something to Will Sadler.
And formally introduce his parents.
Okay.
His mother, Monique.
Monique, can you
Monique,
stand up
can
for a
you
second?
stand, please?
Sure.
Beautiful in every way.
Oh, thank
Gorgeous
you.
in every way. Supportive in every way. They are non-Muslims, but very welcoming and embracing. And I love you for that.
I love you too.
Welcome to the family.
Welcome to you.
We have Lauren, the baby sister.
Seems like she was trying to hide.
First of all, let me go back a little bit. Monique and I, our birthdays are within days of each other. Okay. Lauren and Sadiyah, when are your birthdays?
August 7th.
They share a birthday. Okay. And so this is a baby sister, and Lauren, she's always wanted a baby sister. So welcome to the family. He's affectionately called Brother Eric Sr. There are many men who say that they'll die for their children. But this man lives for them. So I would like to welcome you to the family.
Last but not least, let me say this. Mr. and Mrs. Sadler are sitting over here. This is Eric's grandparents. Can you please stand? I don't know how far they come to get here. I don't care if they walk across the street. The fact that they are here is a generational thing. What you're talking about is 1, 2, 3 generations of a family in here, of a proud, elegant family. And to me, again, as my wife said to the others, welcome to the family. And I'm sure Sadiyah is going to bring honor to your family where Eric is going honor to. I'm sure. Thank you. Other grandmother.
Yes.
Okay, very good. I told her.